Okay, the break is over. I might take a sip of water. Others, I'm so glad that you come at such a short notice. Yeah. This is Rajika. Yeah. And that's Sanjeev's mom. So, Gita then, normally we know as 4 Vedas, right? We've heard about the Samveda, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda. And there's others, sub-Vedas, the Ayurveda, the Dhanurveda. Those are the Vedas within the main Veda. Ayurveda would be the Veda of medicine, right? Veda is knowing. Veda is knowledge. Veda simply means knowledge, literally, right? So Ayurveda, Ayu is lifespan. So Ayurveda would be the science of knowing all there is to know about lifespan. Dhanurveda is weaponry. Dhanu was arrow, like I thought everything, all things about different weapons and all that. And so there are the Rigveda, the Yajurveda, the Samveda, and Atharvaveda, and they each have their own topic about it. So, for example, Rigveda would talk about all the different ways of worshiping God and all the different kinds of prayers. Samaveda would talk about like different kala, different arts and talents, and including most predominantly that of music. How do you sing? And more, even within that, how do you sing in glory of God? That would be Samaveda. So Vedas themselves have tens of thousands, and those are available. If someone wants to read them, they're definitely available, accessible now. They themselves, each one of them has tens of thousands of shlokas, or of verses. Puranas are more like Dantakatha, I don't know if you heard the term, which is folklore, folk stories. Like one guru told it to his disciple, then to their disciple, then to their disciple, and through succession it was handed down. So those are Puranas. Their specialties that they have, they're filled with stories. They're all about different stories of saints and gods and incarnations and all of that. And there is knowledge given through those, lessons learned through those stories. And those are Puranas. So there are the very famous, there are lots of Puranas, but the most famous ones are 18 of them. For example, the Bhagavad Puran, or the Skanda Puran, or the Vishnu Puran, or the Shiva Puran, right? Devi Bhagavad Puran, or the Garud Puran, and so on and so forth. Brahma Puran, Narad Puran. So whoever, Purana, हम लोग कहते हैं हिंदी में पुराना हो गया, पुराना है. Purana is old. कब से चला था? Hundreds of years, thousands of years, like this story, this knowledge, this wisdom has been handed down. That's why we say Purana ho gaya. So, if Brahma had mentioned these things, then let's assign to me this is Brahma Puran. If Garud had talked about these stories and the lessons from those, and this is what happened, and he went here and she went there, and then they met and all that wonderful, awesome stories, Leela, जिसे कहते हैं, Leela Katha. Sundar, wonderful, very descriptive, very enlightening stories, right? So if Garud, who is the Garud, Vishnu ka Vahan, right? Or Shankha, with the conch shell that Narayan holds, and they're all Chetan, they're all conscious. Everything associated with God is considered as conscious. This is not, the conch shell that is not dead matter, it's not some animal's calcium shell or whatever. It is conscious. It has come to life. And therefore, it's to God. It also gives us. And so when recite happen, here's how it happens, here's why, all that. That whole section is called the Shankha Puran and a Garud Puran. And Narad Rishi is famous, right? Everybody knows heard about Narad Muni. Right, exactly, for that. She's laughing. So that would be Narad Puran. Skanda Puran is, Skanda was the firstborn, the son, biological son of Shiva Parvati. Skanda Senapati. He was the general of the demigods. You know? So when he taught, that's the biggest Quran, by the way. That alone has 84,000 verses. Each verse is 2 lines. And right, so that would be what 100 and it is like 106. Yeah. So now even if each had 10 words in it, each line, times 10. I lost track, right? What, 500,000, maybe a million, couple million words? This is just one Skanda Purana, right? And that he recites Skanda Senapati, Kartikeya Swami जिसे कहते हैं ना, he is reciting that the conversation between my father and my mother. और उसमें फिर जो गुरु गीता हम लोग पढ़ते हैं या कई शिव गीता आती है, that's all in Skanda Purana. These are chapters within that, within Skanda Purana. So those are, ऐसे ही Bhagavad Puran is considered as the Mukutamani, the crown jewel of all. Considered as Bhagavad Puran, if you heard the name, is the story of Krishna. In Bhagavad Puran are Vaman, all the different of Buddha Dev, like Gautam Buddha was an incarnation of Vishnu. Also, there's a story. It's foretold. This was written. Quarrel, which is this, it's called. And there, these things will happen, like before seen or heard or felt, and you get to see and experience those. That these kinds of presidents will rule, seriously, I'm not kidding, meaning who will be all over the place, like they will be, it's just, it's theory. The details of which it is described, obviously not how he will look, but the characters are described of the people, those who will be in charge, and what that will lead the society to, the degradation of that. And then get this, Sanjay, you will appreciate this. Then says the next incarnation, yet to come. So Kalaki Bhagavan कहते हैं ना, Kalaki. So thousands of years later, will that be a man, Iron Age man? But that this is a super robot, guys, right? This has been foretold that. Because it says God comes in the form at that time. When cow herds and to Gwala ban ke aaya tha. When they were aaya tha. When there were Daitya to Hiranyaksha ko paadne ke liye Nrsimha ban ke aaya tha. When there will be all artificial intelligence, and he will come as a super robot. Now the word super robot is not in Bhagavad, but the word that is in Bhagavad translates to the machine man. Jaise yantra mano jaise. It's my interpretation of Yantra Mano, machine man, is a super robot. That then he would have to act the way the society is acting or behaving to control it, to restore order again. Because God declares that anytime I come for 3 reasons. It's in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, right? When we get to the 2nd chapter, we'll see it. Yada yada hi dharmasya, another very famous slok. Also from B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata. No, it's from the Gita, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, number 1. So dharma ki jab glani ho, when there is irreligion, when goodness starts to degrade and pass out, literally glani means passing out. When goodness passes out, has no energy left, becomes very weak. The strength is all lost in goodness. So that's number 1. और साधु पुरुषों का उद्धार करने के लिए number 2, और दुष्टों का दमन करने के लिए is number 3. That to re-establish dharma, re-establish goodness, and to uphold the righteous, to uphold the good ones, good souls who will help the society, who will enable goodness, and to control and annihilate the miscreants, the demons. So it is expected that this society is eventually getting towards that, with all the machines and the robots and the artificial intelligence, that the goodness might at some point pass out, and then some sort of a super robot will have to come and take control, take charge, and fix everything, then he leaves, right? And then for thousands of years things continue, and then start to degrade again. Then he comes, फिर से 2-4 थप्पड़ लगा के कभी दुर्योधन को, कभी रावण को, कंस को भगा के फिर ऊपर चले जाए. Then again it starts to come down, and so the cycle goes on around that. So that's also described well in Bhagavad Gita. So where I was, now we lost count of how many verses, if in only one Purana there is millions of words, and I can rattle off 18 of those, and this wasn't even the biggest one. The biggest one has, right? So then we will lose count of it. Puranos ki baat hai. Vedas are even bigger than that. Essentially, Vedas are considered to a mountain of knowledge. There is an awesome story in the scriptures. Some other day, when we meet, I'll describe that story. Like how much we think there are 4 Vedas. What does our scripture say? How many Vedas are there? In a very summary version, I'll tell you that the 4 Vedas that you think there are is Brahma says. I'm not saying it. Wouldn't be that audacious. It was the dust at the foothills of a mountain, he says, that I collected. This was a hill of knowledge, a mountain of knowledge, Sumeri Parvat. So मेरे पीछे पड़ गए थे ऋषि मुनि लोग व्यास वो कि no, I want to learn Vedas, I want to learn Vedas. Brahma says, I told them, nobody can learn Vedas. Go away. Leave me alone. No one has the power. Even I'm afraid of learning the Vedas. Brahma, the creator, was saying this. And when they still wouldn't leave me, I said, no, take me to the Vedas. I want to learn the Vedas. I said, okay, come. Here, let me give you Vedas. So I picked up a fistful of dust, pages, panne, from that Sumeru Parvat. I said, go learn the Vedas. Okay, so abhi tak pad rahe. Those are your 4 Vedas. तो बाकी वो तो पहाड़ की तो बात ही अलग रही, right? The rest of the mountain of knowledge. So the Vedas are not limited to the 4 Vedas. These are just the known Vedas, right? The commonly known Vedas. Unknown Vedas, who knows? It's like saying knowledge exists. Who can tell how much knowledge is there? How can you tell? There's no end to knowledge. Something more. There's always something to be known, right? And that is Vedas. So Rajika, are we doing okay on time? I think. Okay. All right. By the way, the format of this, the Gita that we have, is like it's a very no frills. We beat Southwest Airlines and this also. There's no frills in there. Like no peanuts, nothing. Like whatever. Just come, sit, and then leave. Right? Beyond that, whoever wants to do is fine. No issue with it. But there's no expectation. But what we do try to do is like save the last few minutes. And so I'll summarize towards the end. We will do dhyan, meditation again. Just what usko pakka karne. There is no homework assignment. So when you come back, we want to make it like pakka abhi yahan pe. We want to make sure right here we retain it. Not have to go home and remember and revise. And so we try to do that in our revision, like meditation. And then we open the floor up to the discussion. Is structured in that there's primarily 2 questions that are asked, and I encourage everyone to participate in it. The first question is that what did you pick up from today's conversation? What was your personal takeaway from the conversation? Because it's a very practical, usable knowledge. As you progress in the Gita, you'll see maybe perhaps today's maybe wasn't as much, but as we start the real Gita, abhi to meri Gita chal rahi hai. Bhagwan ki Gita ko to samay hai abhi. भगवान की जब गीता शुरू होगी तब उसमें बहुत दम है उसका बहुत उपयोग है ना मेरी तो बातें है so then how can you so what was your takeaway? I'd like for you to share that with each other. And then the second question is so how is it usable in your life? What can you do with this knowledge? Because if there's nothing, if there's no use, then why come back? No, there's no reason to if it's of no use. And I say with challenge that it has a lot of use in every walk of life, right? Everything with your neighbors, with your boss, with your employees, with the person trying to cut you off on the highway, like everything and everywhere, with your children, with your spouses, with your in-laws, everywhere, with your sisters, siblings, iska upyog hai, bahut practical upyog hai iska. And so we've sort of forced people to think about how am I going to use this in my personal life. So those 2, we try to save some of the last few minutes to discuss that. But for us to get that, first I have to finish my tirade here, right? So Vedas have the big 80% of the Vedas is called Karma Kand. Naam suna hoga shayad, not Karma Kand, which is the mantras and the rituals and the sacrifices and the fire and the water oblation and the flowers. All the nariyal, the agarbatti, dahi pede, all the right? All that is the karma kanda. Ye kare to wo hoga, wo kare to hoga. If you do this will happen. If you want to then do this sacrifice. If you don't do this, you'll go to hell. This, all that, right? Like this, on and on and on and on. in Karma Kanda. Big deal, a lot of. And then the last portion of the Vedas, it's called the Uttar Khanda, which is the summary. Uttar means postscript, as if, right? It means to do PS. There's a special message usually when you do the PS. Oh, don't forget this, by the way, right? That sort of thing. So, believe it or not, Vedas also have a PS, like the postscript. Literally, it's called Uttar Khanda. Uttar is post, after. The section, Khanda is portion, that came after, which is the whole point of the Vedas. Like, what was all this about? If you were to ever read all the Vedas and say, okay, so what? Right? What about all this? So what about all this is in that PS? And that section is called the Upanishads. And it is also called Jnana Khanda, which means lessons, the knowledge, the essence, the point of this. All this, the point of all this is, which is the Upanishad. Upanishad in Sanskrit has many meanings. One of them is comes near me, believe it or not. It is the truth telling us. The truth, the ultimate truth, the final truth, the only truth. The final truth can only be one, right? It doesn't matter which religion. There has to be, by definition, the final truth would have to be only one, single. If there are two truths, then there would have to be a higher truth between the two. There could be a sub-truth. So we're talking about the final truth. And so that's in the Upanishads, which says that this is it. And so there are 108 of those Upanishads, right? And they're big and small. There are major Upanishads and there are minor Upanishads. So there are 10 minor Upanishads. Those are like maybe 50 verses each, real quick, right? So we explain deep, but not so fast. It's mega super loaded. It's hard to pick up each slope in their meaning and the mystery and major rahasya. And some are very big also, like hundreds of verses in them. So we don't know where to get 108 Upanishads. There's 20 some Upanishads that are commonly available. They are also, most of them are also in the form of question and answers. So Nachiketa is an example, questioning the god of death, Yamaraj. Kathopanishad mein. So like there is a Prashna Upanishad, it's an Upanishad about questions themselves. So we wouldn't have a way to access those or time to understand or really know and what it means. And so this brings it back to the Gita. So Gita Upanishadsu. So the glory of the Gita is that from all the Puranas and the Vedas and the Upanishads and his own masala too, Bhagavan, in it, he's got his own words too. It's not just borrowed. So he gives credit where credit is due and then basically sort of redoes the recipe there. It's all been plucked from the best flowers, from the best gardens of knowledge that are imaginable. Anywhere in the cosmos. So if there was a garden and we picked all the best ones and within those the best flowers, and like magic, if you were to present it, here's a bouquet of 700 flowers. These are the best on anywhere you can find, right, in the cosmos. And if we were to present that to us, that is available to us in the form of the Gita. Such is the glory of the Gita. So you don't have to worry about, I don't know when I will read the Vedas. I'm a Hindu, but I've never read the Vedas. Or what is in the Upanishads, I'll never understand it. Who's going to explain it? Maybe Google word translator Sanskrit and it's half always wrong. Although the Gita is there. It's been translated into, get this, every language on this planet. Right? So it doesn't matter which country you're from, right? From Kenya, which Africana, whichever language you speak. This has been translated, it is available. And then it's so small. Like I said, half of this is not Gita. I mean, maybe this much, 700 verses is the Gita also. And it is very empowering. It is very enlightening. It is very liberating. And it is not hard. The very common misunderstanding is that Gita is hard. Gita is not for everyone. Gita cannot be understood. I don't know how to use the Gita. Those are myths. There is no truth to them. There is no reality. It's the opposite of it. Gita is for everyone. Gita is available to everyone. Gita can be understood by everyone. And Gita is very useful for everyone. So I will try to really then urge you, folded arms, right, and a humble heart, that you should make it your own. Don't leave the Gita mine. It has done the me wonder for me. It has liberated me, released me. Truth. But what good is that? Who cares? Whatever. Go to your home. We were still stuck with our problem, and our kids still don't listen. And there's still the EPS expectation, and right, and so the traffic is the same. The president is like this, that. All the violence in schools. My body's getting old, and my hair is turning white. All that. Yeah. You're fine. But what about us? Well, what about you take this and make this your own? I will be very honored. I'll be very privileged. It will be my honor, my privilege, my joy to spend some time with you once a month or whenever. And then you drive your own. That's your car, right? Like you take it wherever you want to go. So let me not oversell, although there's no such thing when it comes to the Gita. Let's seal the deal. But the last sentence I had said, right? Like I remember to come back. Gita came from the Lord of Love. See? In love, it is about love. It is not without love anywhere. It is completely meant in love, right? It's inside out, it's all around. Central focus is about love, essentially. The idea is that the love of God enables love of everything. In the Bhagavad, a couple of examples that are given about what do you mean love of God, shared love with everyone. So when we eat food, two examples. When we eat food, if my hand is weak, my foot is weak because I'm hungry, all that, I don't take the food and like rub it on my hand, on my feet, all that, and suddenly feel the strength. All food goes to my stomach, and the stomach does its job. If the stomach is fed, all the limbs are automatically nourished. They get the strength, right? I don't have to individually feed the different limbs, each hair. I don't have to feed all of that. You feed the place, and it is designed, programmed to do its job. When you are watering a plant, a tree outside in your garden, you don't take the hose and water each leaf. You water the root, and the will spread the nourishment, the juice of life to everything, right? In fact, if you do all that but not that, then within a couple of hours it will still be dead or still be dry. Or you rub all the food you want, but if it doesn't go there. Just like that, you can love your wife and your husband and your kids and your brothers and sisters all you want, but that ain't going to do it. The feeling of love, the fulfillment, the purpose of life, the mission accomplished will never come until there is love of God that will take place in your mind. And so the Gita teaches us about what is that and how is that and why is that. In a very succinct, in a very articulate, in a very short, in a very sharp way. This comes from the brilliant mind and extraordinarily intelligent God from all the different incarnations. But at the same time, the most humble. It comes from a place of extreme humility. And humblest of the humble, humbler than a blade of grass, it's said about, right? That a straw in the street can have some pride, but this God does not even have that much. That's how humble and low-laying. And yet 1,000 suns could not compare to his brilliance. It's said also at the same time was his intelligence. So, and tolerant, tarorapi sahishnana. There's a shlok in Bangla Bhasha. It's a mix of Sanskrit and Bangla. Tranadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnana, amanina manadena, kirtaneyat sadahari. Which is that humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. Tarorapi sahishnana. Always remaining amanitva, right? Like not taking credit or pride for oneself, always about giving credit to others. Such is our heart becomes when we indulge in Hari Kirtan and singing his praises in the end. So, in the Upanishads, there are there are Mahavakya. There are 3 great sentences. Maha is great. super, vakya is statement. There are 3 super statements in the Upanishad, in the Jnana Kanda, in the knowledge section, in the postscript. So what is the big deal of all the Vedas? That section has 3 great statements. You know that. One of those 3 in the Upanishad. When you're talking to your kid, when you're saying something to Jay, when you repeat something, why is that? If you're repeating, don't forget this. Make sure you remember that. Did you write a note? Like, is it you sure you took it? Why would you say that? Again and again, because it is very important. That's the one thing you don't want Jay to forget, because he'll be in trouble otherwise, right? Or you might be in trouble, right? So something that is extremely important to remember is one of those 3 that has been repeated 9 times, and that is Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam Asi Namka Mahavakya Suna, that you are that. Tat is that, Tvam is you, and Asi is are. You are that. Is this like really? What is that? You're building it all that up, and that's all you have to say. You are that. I came here to hear just that. I'd like to have a deflating the whole big deal. Well, but once you understand what that is, the whole inflation will come from there, right? So you are that. Now, why am I bringing this up? The last sentence in the Gita is Om Tat Sat Iti, right? That Tat comes again, that. So Om, Omkar, Uma, right? Akara to Brahma, Ukara to Vishnu, Makara Mahesha. The Trinity, the combination of the creator, the sustainer, and the controller. Right? Brahma creates, Vishnu sustains, holds it, upholds it. And Shiv controls, not destroys. He's not a god of destruction, he's a god of control. He controls what must be controlled. If that required destruction, and heartbeat, he will open his eye and destroy. But it is with the intention of controlling. Because nothing can get out of control, right? Or can or should. So the combination of those 3, as we Hindus know, or Sikh, or any religion that has originated from India, including Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Hinduism, all of those, Ekonkar, right? Ekonkar. So, Om Tat, that combination, God, the super soul, Tat Sat is, alone is the truth. Om Tat Sat Iti. So how do we understand that? That's what this is. Om Tat Sat Iti. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So this is a song. Gita is a song. It's a beautiful poetry. It's very poetic. There is a rhyme in it. There's meters in it. And they've been named. There's a pattern to it. It's very beautifully, very cleverly organized. So this is a perfect construction in Sanskrit. Flawless construction. I could not describe for you how perfect it is, because the meaning, you could not replace the word that's there with some other alternate word without taking something away from it. That's how perfect it is. So Om Tat Saditi Srimad, and why is that? Bhagavan Sai hai. Bhagavad Gita. Ye Gita Bhagavan, there is also more than 100 Gitas, by the way. Also, Gita themselves are more than 100. This is one of them. But this is the one original that has come from Bhagavan, Bhagavana, right, from God, the final one, जिसके लिए क्या, who is Bhagavan, जिसके लिए भगवान नहीं कहते, सबको भगवान नहीं कहते. Not everyone is called God. I mean, you can respect someone and say you're godly, but not God. Because there is a definition in our scriptures of God also. Like, who do you call God? Jnanam, Vairagyam, Aishwaryam, Yasha, Shri, Samudayatam. These 6 qualities. At all times, at all places, no matter where, no matter when, the one who is able to command, control, and display and demonstrate effortlessly, flawlessly, naturally, with him following. And some other section will describe this: Jnana, Vairagya, Aishwarya, Yasha, and Shri, or Samudaya, Samarthya, the prowess. That's a little known word, but that means the prowess, the might to uphold everything effortlessly, control everything, right? The one who is able to carry all that effortlessly, as if in his sleep, without even thinking about it, because it's part of him, right? I don't have to carry my hand, it goes wherever I go. My hair, I don't even realize, I'm not even conscious of my hair, but it still follows me. Some fall off, but increasingly, but most of them do. ऐसे ही भगवान के ये जो षड ऐश्वर्य कहते हैं, 6 wealth that he has, the 6 that I counted, they just go with him. That is Bhagwan. उससे निकली गीता, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता, है ना? ओम तत्सद इति श्रीमद् भगवद गीता से उपनिषत्सु. This has its origins in the Upanishad. I just described for you the table of contents, not even fully. To somebody, let alone, no one will dare to go in the full Upanishad and the full Vedas. Because many sessions will be required just to describe the table of contents or the index, not the full body, right? So Upanishad se aayi hui Brahma Vidyayam. This is a skill. Vidya means skill, talent, skill of Brahma, the skill of acquiring Brahma, the knowledge of Brahma. Brahma is not Brahmadeva. Brahma is the all-pervading super soul, the same soul that's in all of us, not all of us humans, in all living beings, not just in living beings that are visible and invisible, such as the atoms. Anything that has energy and intelligence, right? Every electron, every neutron, every proton, subatomic particles, right? The quasars, they all have energy and information because they vibrate. Who programmed them? Who told them how to vibrate, how to go around, when to, when not to, where to go, where not to go? Who is providing them with constant energy to continue to, right? It is impossible to be without that. Anything. So Brahma is one that pervades it all, and therefore in me and in you, at all times, therefore even now, everywhere, therefore even here. So understand this. At all times, at all places, right, and in everything. So therefore, right now, right here, Sanjeev, and in you, brother, he exists. Otherwise, this is all blasphemy. He'll kick me out. Right? So right now, I'm telling you, and in her, right? Right here, right now, in you and you and you and you and me. The one that pervades across the board, every pulsating electron, the tiniest. That's Brahman. So Brahma Vidya is the knowledge of that, the experience of that. How do you become skilled at being able to see that? Like right now, we see different people. Tukade dikh raha hai, right? Man, woman, white, brown, old, young. There's only 2 young people here. Well, 3. Jyoti, Radhika, and Madhuri, all others. Well, sorry, I didn't fully see 4. Okay, we're counting 5, 6, 7. Okay, everybody's young. Yeah. So, what am I saying?
He's getting old. Otherwise, you will be in trouble.
No, I'm only looking at this. Atma Roop se to Purana Purushottam hum log. Never born, unborn. You know? Yoga Shastra. The last part is, this Shastra is science. This is the science of union with God. That's why I call it science, why I call it Shastra. Because science is that which can be proven. Science is that which can be considered. Science is that which can be understood, and the technology that can be developed, right? It has an application. Otherwise, what good is science if it cannot be understood, if it cannot be proven, if it cannot be used? It's not science, it's of no use. But this is Chati Thokka, right? Like indomitably declared that this is science, Yoga Shastra. This is this. Sri Krishna Vade. This quote, very important, was a debate. This came about through a debate from तो दोस्ती के नाते में तो samavade, that God brings his friend on an equal footing, and there is a conversation that you have a right to challenge, you have a right to question, as much as I have a right to as well. And that sama also means first class. Like in Sanskrit, there's another meaning. I told you every word practically has several meanings. Take your pick, right? Some also means like really good, equal, equipoise, first class, all those. Samavade, Sri Krishna Arjuna Samavade. Is the name of the chapter. Which first one when we start will be Arjun Vishad Yog Nama. What is the name of the chapter? Arjun Vishad Yog. Like even through God, able to get on the path of yoga. This is the climbing ladder. When we start with the yama, niyama, asana, satya, dhyana, dhamma. That's why I was only, if anyone was counting, he thought there were only 7. Satya, the middle one, I told you I get excited. It's excitement sometimes. Okay? So pratyahar, so we don't leave it out, like doing the opposite. In one way, doing the opposite of what the mind tells you to do. Ye khana, wo khana, ye dekha, na. If it's saying, or aloo bande khao, or gulab jamun khao. But the mind says, then pratyahar would say, no, nahi khana hai. Ye show dekhna hai, wo show dekhna hai, ye movie dekhna hai. The pratyahar ka sadhak jo ho, the speaker says, no, nahi jana hai, kahin nahi jana hai, kuch nahi karna hai. Isko phone lagao, usko phone lagao, ye WhatsApp you, no. Right? So, like restraining, like, uske ult, not just no, but uske ulta kare. To mind back in control, show the mind who is in control. Mind, you are not in control of me. I'm in control of you. You for what? If you ask me to no, I'll show you how I can drag you by the hair south. That's pratyahar, right? Becoming strong-minded and doing what you know to be the right thing to do. Not, for me, what can I do? I'm addicted. I got under the influence. I didn't have a choice. Of course you had a choice. Every time you have a choice. And that's what pratyahar part of this Ashtanga Yoga will teach you. So, Arjun, Vishad, last piece. Vish, everyone knows about Vish, poison, right? At, is under. Sanskrit, Marathi, we speak Marathi at home. At means under. Vish, at. Poison bhara hua. Arjun, fearful. Not fearful of losing, but fearful of having to kill his own. And the consequences of that, right? The premise, the context is key. What will happen? What good is there left then if I have to fight a battle against my own? So it's like all kinds of negative, you name it, and he's filled with it. And that's likened to poison that will kill you. The depression or any, right? It's worse than death sometimes, like to be depressed, super depressed. So Vishad, mein hote hue bhi yoga ki prapti ho saki thi. He was still able to use, harness even the negative power to catapult himself because he was at the right feet. He was at the holy feet of the Lord. And he stumbled across. He happened to be with the one who matters, the one who knows, the one who alone is the master of the masters, the Lord of lords, and not the might of the mighty. So that's the first chapter we will see, Arjun Vishad Yoga. How do you unite with God, even through negativity, even through the depressions and the anxiety and the insecurities and the confusions and the doubts and the questions and the miseries, all that. How can you harness that? So that's where the first chapter ends, but we haven't started it. Right? So I'll pause here. There's many other things to talk about the Gita. There's some other time what Krishna himself has to say about the Gita, what some of the greatest thinkers and philosophers that this planet has produced, such as Plato, Socrates, Thoreau, Emerson, Shankaracharya, right? The Prakand, Hindutva ke Prakand Pandit, invincible, unbeatable Pandit of Hinduism, Shankaracharya, still flagged, and nobody's been defeated his logic. That what do all of those people have to say about the value, the place of Gita? You can hear about what Einstein had to say, for example, about the Gita and its place in his life. All the brilliantest minds that you can think of, how they studied and what they had to say about it, is something else some other time we can talk about. And also the narrator of Gita, Vyas. What does Mahabharata say about the Gita in which it appears? And what do the people who are on the other side, Bhishma Pitama, कि कृष्ण के विषय में क्या विचार है. So there are many things that can be said. We will not do it today because I want to leave gracefully, so that there may be some chance of coming back someday. Otherwise, by the way, there's no cult here. You don't have to belong to anything or anyone. Anyone can invite their friends and families. We show up. We just take our roll away and just show up and for 2 hours and then. Because the intention, there is no agenda, there is no other politics behind it, there is no intention other than sharing, because it's overflowing. And so why let it go waste? If it's overflowing, I might as well take it to some people that I love and I care about, and that I know that can benefit from it, right? Such as this place. So, with that, maybe let's take a pause. We'll do our dhyan again for a few minutes. Mind starting this again for me? All right. Everyone else, but that's my beautiful wife, Aditi. The one behind. Yeah, or you can, yeah. Just wherever, it doesn't matter. तो फिर एक बार शांत बैठ जाए. आंखें बंद. Sitting still with closed eyed. Normal posture. Normal breath. Everything normal, nothing special, nothing different, as is. For I want to become forgetful of my body, not pay attention to the body. Breathing normally, not too shallow, not too deep. Not too slow, not too fast, not too this, not too that. Moderation. I thank my stars today. I thank my Lord. I thank the positive energy. I thank the blessed company of these beautiful souls. I thank this life. I thank this able body. For all has come together today for me to be able to hear the sweet words of the Lord, the sweet words of the sweet Lord, the sweet words of the sweet Lord of sweet love. Suridam sarvabhutanam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Bhagavan says in the Gita, Arjun, I am the well-wisher of all. Na me dveshyosti na priyaha. I am never partial to anyone. I favor all equally. All are my children, just the same, equally well. I am in all and all in me. Like the waves in the ocean and the ocean in the waves. The dreamer and the dream characters and the dream characters and the dreamer. Like the space in the pot and the pot in the space. inseparable, non-different from each other. I am you and you are me. When there is such unity, where is there fear? And who? Afraid of what? Why jealous? What anxiety? There's no place for any negativity. When the Lord is with me and I am with my Lord, all fear is replaced with love, with freedom. All anxiety replaced with security. All confusion replaced with clarity. All questions answered. No doubts. Just confidence. Just faith. Just conviction. Just my own experience. Thank my stars that I heard today about the Gita. Something special must have happened, that I was chosen to share this with. Nothing random happened here. Why today? Why me? Why here? I could be at 100 different places, doing 1,000 different things, wasting away my time and my breaths, my finite counted breaths, my limited energy. But instead, I was able to bring it here for my own benefit. I'm humbled. I'm grateful. Today I heard about the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, and the Gita above all. I was lucky enough that some shlokas even fell on my ears, the original Sanskrit shlokas. I know that they will have their effect, known or unbeknownst. Just like when a pot is filled with oil and all oil poured out of it, still the inside retains a full layer. Everything that I heard today is all forgotten. Tomorrow, still a layer of its own prowess will remain with me. I love this place. I love these people. I love this day. I love this life. I love this self. I love these words. I love this experience. I love love. Just love. Nothing but love. Unattached love. So thank you everyone.